Hey guys, today I'm bringing you a small amount of tracer tips. I don't exactly know how many it's going to be, but by the time this is uploaded, it'll be in the title. So first tip I have actually involves pulse bomb animation canceling, so let me just this way. So every tracer player pretty much already knows about the blink melee combo, right? Like this is something that if you want to enhance your gameplay and you want to be a good tracer, you need to have this memorized practically. It needs to be common sense. So people already know about this, but what I've noticed is that not many people know about the animation cancel with pulse bomb. So let me show you. So if you didn't see what I did there, basically you melee and then you cancel that melee animation with your pulse bomb. And this is actually extremely useful for the reason that if you need your pulse bomb like at that very second in a fight, you can't have it like a second or half a second later. If you blink in and melee just like when you're at 98% of your pulse, it'll give you the pulse bomb with the melee ult charge and then you'll get it right away. So let me show it to you again. So 98, blink in, melee, you get the pulse bomb. Extremely useful. I think that if you want to enhance your pulse bombs and if you ever catch yourself in a situation like that, it's a really good little technique to have. So the next tip I have is actually a voice line cancellation. So on Overwatch, when you fall off high ground, you make two noises. You make a grunt noise and you make a stomp noise. There's actually a way to get rid of the grunt completely, and that's by doing this. So when you fall off high ground, make sure that you hold jump, and when you fall, you won't make that grunt noise. This is extremely useful for all heroes, but most importantly Tracer, because when you're flanking, you want to do as much as you can to avoid being caught, right? And by doing this when dropping off high ground, it will lower the chances a lot of being caught. There, I made the noise because I jumped before I fell off high ground. You don't want to do that because if you do it, you will make the noise no matter what. What you want to do is you just fall off completely, and then it'll avoid the noise. Next tip I have actually involves another aspect of flanking, which is crouch walking. So whenever you watch a higher tier tracer, you actually see them walking around like this. Like they're always crouching, and a lot of the time, like it's usually not explained as to why. So basically, on tracer, you always want to be in like an angle of a flanking angle, pretty much. Like you want to be somewhere where you can get behind the enemy or to the side of an enemy, like where they don't expect you. But when you're in this position, if you maintain an angle where you're just crouched and walking towards the enemy, one, you're moving really slow, and two, that enemy can just run away from you. Like let's say that there's an enemy here and I crouch walk up to them to get a one clip, but they're just running away. If you like blink or run to get them, they're gonna hear you and they're gonna turn around and you're gonna be found. You could be killed, whatever. So a better way to flank is to just crouch spam. This keeps you almost at the same speed as walking speed, while also giving you a lot, like your footsteps are just a lot more quiet. It's extremely useful. I always walk around crouch spamming. I mean, you could still be heard. It's not like you're fucking deadly silent, but it's a lot quieter than normal, and it's extremely useful because you keep that speed that you need to catch up with enemies while also giving you a really good aspect of flanking. Last tip I have involves movement and kind of necessarily crouch spamming. So a lot of the time you'll hear in a lot of tracer guides them telling you to like move left and right, add some crouches in. You want to be hard to hit, and I have nothing against crouch spamming. I think I do it all the time, but it's necessarily how you include your movement with that crouch spamming and how often you actually crouch. So when I'm in a 1v1 against an enemy, I don't crouch spam like this. If it's a hit scan, you actually don't want to do that, because if you crouch spam like this, they just have their cursor in place and wait for you to walk into it. It actually makes it easier for them. So the way I do it is I just kind of I kind of make my movement super unique and unpredictable. And you hear that a lot, but I'll show you how to make it unpredictable. So basically, what I like to do is move left, right, and then just keep going right, but then crouch for a second and move to my left. Like, movement like this, I mean, it sounds pretty stupid explaining it, but once you practice it in game, you'll find yourself being missed on a lot of the time. And it's extremely useful because on Tracer, you don't want to die too much. Like, a big component of Tracer is just survivability with your blinks and recall. So I think that mastering your movement is the biggest step into just staying alive more. Also, adding on to this tip, So basically, a lot of the time you'll be shooting people from behind their back, and what I recommend is that even if you're shooting someone from behind their back, still keep this weird kind of movement. It doesn't necessarily have to be like left, right, crouch. It just has to be just like add some crouches in while just moving back and forth. You don't want to stand still, because even though the person you're shooting at isn't looking at you, someone on the enemy team could turn around or just be looking at you already and get an easy shot. Like, you just don't want to be in a position where you're an easy kill. So yeah, that's all the tips I have. I rarely hear about these talked about in videos. So best of luck applying these to your game, and I'll catch you guys another time.